Yes, you're listening to my station, your station, ZiFM Stereo, one station that brings you nothing, of course, but the best. Welcome to Community Dialogue, where we delve and we explore diverse communities across Zimbabwe. In each episode, we engage with the residents, officials, and leaders to discuss pressing community issues every Tuesday right here on ZiFM Stereo, my station, your station. Today, we have a lot to discuss, so join the conversation and be part of the conversation. So if you need to get in touch with us, do so on our WhatsApp number. That's 0772 168 045. That's 0772 168 045, as well as Harare 106.4, Mutare 95.4, Kadoma 105.2, Mashingo 96.1, then Vic Falls 106.5. Today we'll be discussing an important issue that has been making rounds on social media, which has captured the attention of men, including us in the media. That's why we have invited key voices to join the conversation today. Due to drug use, young people have become involved in various troubling behaviors, including verbal and physical abuse of their parents, and as well as early sexual involvement. The government has tried several efforts to rehabilitate the youth, and people have reacted differently. One group, Matrix Investigations, has taken it upon themselves to intervene with young offenders, providing care and support. However, their militant approach has sparked controversy, with some questioning whether it constitutes abuse or a violation of rights. To delve deeper into this important topic, we have invited a representative from Matrix Investigation into the studio, one operational manager who is Kudakwashe Katandika, and Vice President Clara Manyepera. So before we delve more into this discussion, I would love our listener to listen a brief clips featuring some of the children in the disciplinary camps. This will form the thesis of our tonight's discussion.
Munoda zvekuti vanokudai zvekuti munosangana munovanzira tsitsi mobva matongoita nezvavanenge vachida. Tsanya yacho ndeyeko ndeyekakomana kudi kwavo ndikuita zvevakomana. Munotaurisa ndikuita zvevakomana muri kuzviita kuti ifungidziro ine wani mukomana saka ende asiri kudiwa kuda uroro pfungwa iyi ndechi makuda mwana madaita hapana ndinoenda kuchikoro nemukomana wenyu ndega mukomana ari kuda kwavo taurisa yani zvaita here kumutaurisa ndomungomutaura kana zvichiita hapana komana ari kupinda pavo hapana munotora zvinodhaka munongoita zvakomana kwava makondozi machiki wamukauri kwayo keroti maudzwa here kuti hatidi musoro yakadai kana ndacheka hazvinopera vanhu ngatigowe musoro vanhu pandopedza vanhu ava musoro unenge wadudunurwa pandopedza vanhu hamene tichadudunura se lazimbe.
Yes, having listened to the audio we have just played, can you take us through, Kudakwashe, what is Matrix all about? Chichinge chitka Matrix to vasati vambonzwa vangonzwawo maaudio vasati vamboendewo vasati vamboona mavideo pasocial media chii chinombonzi matrix chii chinoitika kumatrix uye kunouya vanhu vakaita sei?
Okay, firstly, thank you for having us here.
Yeah.
Matrix Disciplinary and Training Center center inotora ivo vana from the age of 9 to the age of 35 vane unubu wakasiyana siyana. Vamwe vana vasingateereri vabereki, kune vana vasingasvike kuchikoro vanotoramba chikoro, kune vana vanoba, vanotorawo zvinodhaka. So ndova tinenge tichibatsirana navo. In fact, tinobatsirana nevabereki because we believe kuti there's a saying that says it takes a village to raise a child. Saka tisi kuti vabereki vanenge vatadza kuinstilla unhu muvana vavo, but pane zvimwe zvekuti vanozoti this is beyond, ndopavanozovaunza kwatiri isusu tobatsirana navo.
Alright, mukubatsira vana avava are there modules pane zvamunoimplement here kuti atoti mamodules anoenderana nemhosva ingada yaparwa nemwana kuti uyu ndiwe madrugs anoenda under mamodules akati, uyu ndiye ari kutora kana kuti ari kudanana nevarume nevakomana achiri mudiki? Are there modules? Take us through that.
Yes, there are modules depending kuti mwana aunzirwei and also depending age yemwana. So firstly, let's say for instance, ndichakupai two my examples. Mwana aunzwa achinzi she's a 15-year-old, akaramba kuenda kuchikoro akatizira akaenda kumurume. Mwana kana tichimutora, there is a certain way or a certain module that we go about it. Firstly, we are big on therapy because before we can start anything, we want to get to the root cause of the problem. Chii chakonzera kuti mwana ane 15 years ade kunoita imba. She's still a minor. And then tapedza izvozvo. Vamwe vana even as at the age of 15 ukada kutasa kutoshaya unhu kwaanenge aita kwekuti anofila kuti inini regai ndisiye chikoro ndiende kumurume. So as much as we are big on therapy, we also believe kuti kutoshaya unhu ikoko, saka that's how we instill discipline. And then secondly, by incident maybe ye mwana ari kuita madrugs. For mwana aunzirwa madrugs, first of all tinotanga tisatatombotanga kuminstila unhu toda kuti tidile nemunhu ari sober. We first take them through what we call a detoxification therapy. It ranges from a week to 2 weeks. Maybe you have seen the first part vachishika chichi, that is just induction. But after that tinovapinza detoxification kana kuri kunzi awira madrugs. So the detoxification therapy, we do it naturally. It has no medication, we do not administer any medication kwa now. We just do it the paramilitary way and the natural way.
Oh, nice. Let us take us through the institution. A lot of people, my message is the institution registered. Uye the staff members, vanhu vakaita sei, mapurisa here ndomvunzo irikubvunzwa nevanhu vakamboita sei. Is the institution registered? Yakadichiswa sei chii? Uye the staff members, they police. No, we are not delving deep into ndvanani, no. But tangoza to know mapurisa here machi, something like that.
Right. Yes. Matrix Disciplinary Training Center is a registered institution, and the employees within our company or our organization are ex-law enforcement, ex-military, ex-teachers, social workers. Yeah, and that's what we have.
Right. Mwana auya ku Matrix ndizvo here auya maybe angachitora zvinodhaka or maybe angachita musikanzo yakasiyana-siyana angasingateerere vabereki. Are they mamwe skills maybe amunoinsure kuti mwana adzidza besides the rehabilitation? Yes, mwana tamurehabilitata, tamuendesa through matrainings, pane zvimwe zvere zvinomake sure kuti mwana anobuda anazvo the skill that aranda naro musociety?
Yeah, indeed. We are helping the candidates with developing their own skills that they already have. If somebody came into the camp because of, for example, drug abuse, but they already have an example, a shoemaking skill, we try to work along that particular skill. If they are into poetry, we are trying to develop that particular skill. If they are into farming, we are in the camp already, and it's in the middle of a forest. We are trying to help them with resources to cater for that, so that when they go outside, then they'll be able to do something with their lives instead of lying idle when they go back into the community. Then I have a good example of one candidate that came through sometime in December. He was a drug and substance abuser, as well as very alcoholic. So the parents came in complaining that he was fighting a lot, and then he was stealing so much. Each and every single day of his life, he would come back home with bruises on his face. So when they brought him in, we of course started the detoxification therapy with him for 2 weeks. And then thereafter, it was the paramilitary training, which is a whole lot of activities. We make sure that they sweat a lot to help them with detoxifying, and then of course a lot of water. Then the third week, we're already dealing with someone who's almost sober. So we are now starting to administer assistance to develop his skill, or to nurture and help him towards his skill. So Gabriel, when he came, I'm mentioning his name now. When he came through, he was swollen and everything, like I explained before. And then he was very good with making shoes. He would, whenever someone has a broken shoe in the camp, he would assist and help and sew it up, and the shoe is back on. So what happened with him, when he left the camp, 2 months later, he came back into the camp to just say, I came to say thank you for assisting me. I'm now on my sober habits. I brought in these 2 pair of boots, because I've noticed that matrix staff is wearing boots in the fields because you're running after us all the time. So I wanted to say thank you with a token of appreciation, which was part of his work or his skill. So thereafter, we felt like we needed to support him more, because we were impressed that his parents testified that he wasn't onto drugs anymore. What we went and did was, instead of accepting his 2 free pair of, or complimentary pair of shoes, we actually ordered more pairs from him for everyone, for all the staff members. So he then ended up getting an order of 15 pairs of gumboots from Matrix to develop his skills.
Maybe kuti ndikubate zvishoma. Yes. A lot of people say in Shona, mwana tikaramba chimurova, or through this military training, for example, tikarova mwana.
No, I would like to correct you. It's paramilitary training.
So thank you so much. Yes, paramilitary training. Yes, through this paramilitary training, tatura mwana tamenza kupara. Azviitise mumwe mwana kuti ave nini here, azvihadhinise mumwe mwana here kuti atowedzera, because the moment we are doing this para, anobva kugona kubva atowedzera. Yes.
All right, I'd like to answer that. Thank you. First of all, apana mwana norowa. You just mentioned
sorry.
So we would like to stress the point to the parents that when a parent brings a child to Matrix for disciplinary, it means they've already tried their best. They've already administered everything that they think is possible to tame a child. Meaning so we cannot be implementing kurova as well as part of our disciplinary training, because then we already know that beating failed. So we have other means. When we say paramilitary, we're talking physical activities. And most of these people, or most of these candidates that come through, parents complain about them being very lazy. They don't want to work. And they're stealing so much. Of course, substance abuse. So when we make them work or do physical activities, they don't like that. To them, that is more like a punishment. However, we don't call it a punishment because it's correctional. We use these activities to correct their bad behavior. Now, coming back to your point, to your question, when you asked me, usually when a child comes into the camp, they are very confused. They don't understand what is happening. They already think that, the first week they are bitter. Then the second week, that's when they start understanding and appreciating what is happening. And we create an environment that will make them understand that when they are home, their parents are trying to do everything for them. Because for a disciplinary center, it cannot be luxury.
Yes.
And I also want to correct that it's not rehabilitation, because rehabilitation, they make them sit in a room and give them a remote to watch television. We don't have things like that. We keep them away from civilization because we need enough ample time to discipline them. So they have to stay away from luxury things. So having said that, mwana aite nubu nekuti auya ku matrix anotanga ku understand the reason why they came and start appreciating zvinhu zvekumba kwavo more.
All right.
For example, there's what we call a fallen that is called every 2 hours. And that means when our chief instructor calls fallen, the candidates have to be at a fallen point in 30 seconds. It doesn't matter even if they were sleeping. So that also disrupts, for example, their sleeping pattern when they are in the camp, because they know at home they sleep all the time. So it's a privilege that we take away from them, for them to understand that when they are at home, they are having so many privileges that they are miscalculating or overlooking.
All right. Again, do
you want to add on?
Yes.
Please.
Can I just
add on? I want to ask this. As well as you are addressing maybe kukanganisa tumwana adzoke aite straight, are you also addressing the root cause? Because people know that drugs tumatenga vana vari kumatenga kunowanzi majazzman in the street lingo, the language kushandiswa pa ghetto. So are you also addressing that to ensure kuti ivo vari kutengesera vana madrugs vabatwa uye ma-address ma-root causes eshe akasaraunda mwana? Yes,
definitely. Before Matrix Disciplinary Camp was born, there was and there still is Matrix Private Investigations and Security Services. So the good thing is that when we take kids or candidates to the camp for disciplinary, usually the second or the third week, a child is now more comfortable to talk about everything and tell us where or who their suppliers are in their community. That's when our investigative department comes through.
Yes. So
then they'll go on the ground and do their proper investigations, and if people have to be
so far, since Mamati, that's when the investigation department comes in. Some of the news, I always like to do my follow-ups. How many have been brought to book among us majazzman? I know so far takakwanza kusunga vakati vaitengesa zvinodhaka munharaunda. Can we have a notable example?
Okay. So for the investigation department, I actually can't talk on their behalf. But what I know is vese mali dzatinenge tapuwa through our investigation tinoenda over ku law enforcement. Tinoita kuti vemutemo they handle that, because isusu masimba ekuinvestigata nekunosvika tinozoenda edu neumbowo wedu kumapurisa kuti isusu tibatsire utadai hatina masimba ekuti tinonotora tisina mapurisa, as much as we are private investigators, but you do everything through the law enforcement. Ndo vanozotibatsira kuti
as you are wrapping up this special episode of the community dialogue, there are also messages that are popping up. Let's talk about the filming of children. Yes, as we were briefing, you told me munopiwa consent with the parents. Nowadays we are now living in the digital era, whereby we have what is called the digital footprints. Video rangu 2009 rona kubuda, maybe ndai journalist natora pa radio kunza kwiwo ngatori ku matrix uchikungurutsa matai. Do you also consider zvinhu zvakadaro?
Yes, we do consider, and I understand that stigma is going around.
Yes.
Ndakukupa example. I'm going to address your question, but ndakukupa example. Another parent the other day. Kuti what we are doing atisikuita kuti mwana aiwe embarrassed. Kuti parent here azouya achiziya kuti kune matrix disciplinary. Akatoona umwe mwana wemwe zvichiitwa bva vatoti izvi zvinogona kubatsira mwana wangu. So what we are doing is just basically to create awareness. And for security reasons we actually pane form rinosainwa ratinototaura kuti isusu tinofilma and we take photos for transparency's sake. So yes, we understand kuti vamwe vanozvitora in a negative way kuti it's embarrassing kuti uve uchionekwa uchicorrectwa pa social media. But for instance, do you know kuti kudhara pamba ne stigma kuti kubuda chaiko uchishare kuti you're HIV positive was embarrassing. We used to have that stigma kuti vanhu vaitotya kuti come out kuti vanhu vashare kuti unogona kurarama uri positive in this way. But takazoita get rid of that after vanhu tava educate kuti you know what, yes chirwere chiri at that time vanhu vaifunga chirwere chiri embarrassing, but at this time right now neira yatakurarama people are actually not scared anymore to actually share kuti inini I'm HIV positive and I'm a healthy life apana chance consequent. So it doesn't matter kuti in your past wakambeta say at some point in our lives say we have fallen off the wagon pamwe zvinakuitwa hazvo pa social media. But I've also seen even my celebrities vamwe vanobuditswa zvakawanda. I don't want to say my examples zvekuti munhu anobuditswa kana video nude and everything, but still they are still living and zvichitozo vabatsira in the long run or somehow. So basically what we're doing is not kuti tunenge tichida ku violate my rights evana. We're just creating awareness out there.
But as we are concluding, since we are running out of time, allow me to ask one last question from our listeners who are listening. I can see you, Bruce Kezan from Dombosha, Vanyasha Tota. Yes, Alpha Chinumburuka, Sameo Tenderere. Yes, and as always, I'll do those shout-outs as we conclude this show. Anzonizo wakumana waskana also they came for disciplinary camps. So how do you ensure kuti waskana maybe they are not abused or they are not harassed maybe in the long run?
Most definitely. Well, we do have female and male instructors.
All right.
On the ground, so we make sure 100% that our girls are safe.
All right. So we're concluding, maybe one last or two that you also answer. How can we get in touch with the matrix? Then also another important aspect is how do you see are you expanding you makatanga muchita zve kutera ma pickpocketers tafaza chera ma pickpocketers now you ma expander. Are we going to see a lot of expansions going on or what are maybe in short maybe in a minute or so?
Okay, I'll be very brief. Okay, so I just wanted to correct quickly to make sure that I mention we're not only dealing disciplinary, we're also grooming very good students like prefects.
Yes.
So there's a misconception that I want to correct out there. We're also grooming good students. Prefects come to us. So you're
doing those sort of like prefect seminars.
That's
orientation,
right.
yes.
Orientation seminars.
And we go through the same activities.
Oh, nice.
More or less.
All right. Nice. Right.
So for a child to come to us and they go back, it's good for their resume whoever comes to Matrix, because anybody that wants to employ them, they would know that this person is well disciplined as long as they came through Matrix.
Oh, nice.
Now to answer your question about where we see ourselves from in the next few years or so, we're planning to go nationwide because there is a lot of bad behavior happening lately with our teens as well as young adults. So we want to clean the community. We want to make Zimbabwe great.
Oh, nice. Oh, also, I'm saying about to kind out people who want to get in touch with you.
Our operations manager.
Okay, so we actually have a website. Like you can search for Matrix Disciplinary Training Center, and then we also have our call center numbers, which is 0776 242897 or 0777 690 612. Both numbers are on WhatsApp.
Yes.
And yeah, we take calls. We try. We don't work 24 hours, but because we've got kids in camp, parents are allowed to call anytime.
Messages. So I think mama pona kaipapo kuti memory
Sorry
imo
about
camp.
that. I just want us to repeat the number again.
Yes, you can do
it's
so.
077-6242897.
Oh, that's nice. Brilliant. Thank you for coming, guys. Najariya ngoti guys. But
Ladies, to my comrades.
So as we conclude today's episode of Community Dialogue, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all listeners who engage with us throughout the show. Your messages truly enrich our conversation. Special thanks to Nigel Mkanira, Alpha Chinumburuka, Uncle Gora. Yes, I see you, Tab Holdings, Samuel Tenderiere, Balo, Mandagu, Mapombi. Yes, I've been seeing your messages. Thank you so much. And also I want to recognize the incredible crew in the studio for their insights and unwavering support as we strive to address the pressing community issues. Where we'll be planning to follow up also to revisit the disciplinary camp. So we to episode of the Community Dialogue.
Tukuada boot camp. Tukuada ZiFM versus Matrix. Yes.
We'll organize that. So that wraps up our discussion for today. If you have the community concern that need amplifying, don't hesitate to reach out to me directly on all social media. That's Kudakwashi Chris Chivuri, on all social medias, as well as 078 361 1928 078 361 1928. Kamgorene na uzikunitsa mnaraunda. Just call me and I'll be your voice. Let's keep the conversation going and let's keep the conversation alive. Until next time, I'm your host, the most, yours truly, Kudakwashi Chipuri. Thank you so much. Goodbye.